shot at, Kelly. Roger, you ready? Public hearing called to order. Yeah, roll call, please. Here.
Member Harold. Here. Councilmember Gann.
Here.
Councilmember Hatmaker. Councilmember Manis.
Here.
Mayor Burton.
Here. The public hearing is on the LPRF grant application, the Otho Brown Park on Carden Farm Drive. Is anyone here who'd like to speak on that? JB, do you have anything that you need to say?
You should have got some in Dropbox, a pretty nice presentation Amanda put together. It's just an extension of Carden Farm Park with the stipulation, we named it for Kathy's dad. So, walking trail, passive park, extension of the disc golf. We talked about maybe some picnic tables or benches, maybe possibly a pavilion, it just depends, but it's in the process.
Okay.
Mayor, this is a local Parks and Recreation Fund grant, which is a 50-50 matching grant. And since the property was a gift, we can actually use the appraised value of the property as our 50% match. So essentially, we can basically, I think it appraised at $398,000, so we're applying for a grant that'll be double that. My math ain't real good right quick, but so at this point, there'll be no local money put into it. Our local match will be the land.
Anyone else?
JB, I looked at the map, so it gives us more river access, right?
Potentially.
Does
yeah.
it wrap around,
There's
or?
Me and Roger and Bill been talking about there's a buffer there though, so we're maybe limited on what we can and can't do with it. But yes, there is way more access.
Is that a place where we want to put a kayak launch or something?
There is, and right now, we're waiting. At one time, back 30 years ago, Bill, we had an access and had a road under the railroad bridge that would connect these two pieces of property. Back then, it was an access before the bridge was built on Carden Road to get into the industrial park. We've sent TVA, or not TVA, the railroad, a request if we could have that easement back, just not, it won't be a road this time, it'd just be a part of the walking trail. If we can tie the two pieces together, we can actually use the 400,000 on either partial. So we've not heard anything back yet.
Good. Any other questions? Hear a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Public hearing adjourned. Regular meeting called to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Queener.
Here.
Councilmember Foster.
Here.
Councilmember Harold.
Here.
Councilmember Gann.
Here.
Councilmember Hatmaker. Councilmember Manis.
Here.
Mayor Burton.
Here. Do I hear a motion for the approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion, second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The prayer this evening will be given by Councilwoman Manis. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
We come together today in service of our community, seeking wisdom, fairness, and unity in our decisions. May we lead with integrity, listen to open hearts, and work towards well-being of all. Please grant us the clarity in our discussions and strength in our commitments, so that our actions reflect the trust placed in us. May our work bring positive impact and progress to those we serve. Amen.
Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Wendy. Do I hear a motion for the review and approval of minutes of the previous meeting dated February 24th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. At this time, we'll recognize any visitors and citizens. Any comments? Any comments on the agenda items? Communications from the mayor. First of all, I want to thank our buddy back, Rob, back to council, and he's had some things that needed to be taken care of, and he's back better than ever.
Glad to be here.
So glad you're back. Also want to remind everyone the spring cleanup is April the 7th. Any details need to be told about that, Dwayne, that we need to know that?
If you would, we'd like to have it out by 7 a.m. that morning, April the 7th.
Anything not to put out?
Anything with refrigerant in it. We do take tires up to 4 per household now. Batteries we can take. Really just the Freon paint. If it's not dried up paint, we can't take it. But,
That's April 7th.
yeah, would like not to have anything sitting out at the street that you don't want to go. We've run into that before.
That'd be bad.
Then we gotta hunt it back. Which is
Yeah.
not easy sometimes.
I know. Well, you'd think they're gonna sit outside, but, oh well. Maybe they just changed their mind during the night.
That's
It's
possible.
already gone, so. Thanks, Dwayne. Committee reports, city school board report, Ms. Johnson?
Good evening. A couple of Clinton City updates for you. We are actively moving forward with the Clinton Elementary School playground. Our RFP is complete. Miracle is the vendor that won the bid for the RFP. That is the same one that did the North Clinton and I believe did the South Clinton Park. So our materials are ordered, equipment is ordered for that. So as soon as that gets in, we'll begin installation. Again, appreciate the city's help. Dwayne with us doing the additional parking lot beside the Wiggles and Giggles parking lot in the back. It's where our teachers and parents will have a place to park when the playground goes on the bottom parking lot behind Clinton Elementary. Last week, we welcomed the Department of Education. Riley, their reading raccoon, came to Clinton Elementary School and visited all of our K-2 classrooms, and the kids had an amazing time. Dana Denton and Harper Maxwell were in charge of Riley, the reading raccoon, and that was a fun little visit from the Department of Ed. Next week, we are going to do a second harvest collection across all Clinton City schools. We partner with Second Harvest Food Bank, and they provide backpacks for approximately 150 of our students. So some of our students who don't get meals at home or struggle to get the food that they need, on Fridays and on weekends breaks, we are sending home backpacks of food just to make sure that they have nutritious food when school is not in session. And so we want to give back to Second Harvest for them supporting our 150 students. So next week, we will be collecting, and students can bring in money, or the community can bring in money. We'll be taking that up at the schools and at central office, and all proceeds that are collected will go straight to Second Harvest Food Bank. There is on our social media, the Blaze Media team has done a news segment on that we are doing, and they did a great job putting that together. April 15th, our TCAP testing will begin. The weekend prior to that, I'm sure Catherine will be talking about the Mosaic Arts Festival, so I certainly will not steal her thunder, but Clinton City will be doing the art show, and our theme this year is Art Around the World. So as you go through the gallery, you will be taking a trip around the world and seeing various artists worldwide. Then, hard to believe, but on May 22nd at 9 o'clock will be our 6th grade graduation. We'll be doing that once again at the Clinton Elementary Gymnasium. And so we look forward to celebrating our 6th graders on May 22nd. And then a big congratulations to Laura Roberts. She is our coordinator for Coordinated School Health. And she actually received the Coordinated School Health Staff Wellness Award at the annual convention a few weeks ago. So she was the only person across the state of Tennessee to receive that award. So we definitely celebrate her in that honor. So any questions for me?
Any questions for Kelly? Do you have an amendment tonight?
I do not have a budget amendment tonight. Scott Ray is at a conference, so he will be back with us next month.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Kelly. Clinton Utilities Board report, Councilman Harrell.
Yes, I missed the last 2 meetings due to my surgery, but I did talk to Greg, and as you know, CUB makes money when it's real cold and real hot, so the financials are there. I asked him about the recent storms. He said there was minimal damage and everything got fixed quickly. There was some neighboring utilities that needed help, and we sent linemen to help. And last but not least, CUB in Region 3 was awarded Best Tasting Water. And now we go on to the state to compete at that level for our water tasting, so.
That's something.
Is that gonna be televised?
I think it's gonna be in the coloring book.
Tell Joey
But
about
that's-
that next year.
If there's any questions, I'll field those.
Any questions for Rob? Thanks, Rob. Other board and committee reports. Shayla, why don't you come first? We'll take turns next time, I'm sorry. Kathy.
Good evening. Just a few updates. A couple of weeks ago, we had a great turnout out in Oak Ridge for our Day of Hope. Saw multiple community members come out and had a really great response from our community partners, and so that was a really great event. We are now gearing up for prom and graduation. Hard to believe that we're already there, but we're starting those prom and graduation campaigns for our youth. Actually did a presentation today and got to get some of their really honest feedback, which is always lovely. A few other updates. We do have Take Back Day is coming up on Saturday, April 26th. So please clean out your medicine cabinets, anything that is unused or expired, and bring those to one of the Dropbox locations for Medication Take Back Day. We do have a new care coordinator on staff. I think I told you guys about this a few months ago. We did get a grant through the state that is new, and so now we will have a care coordinator working with EMS to follow up for overdose calls, to connect those folks into recovery support, recovery treatment, anything they may need to start connecting some of the services that we have here in our community with folks that really need them. And then the last thing is that we did get a United Way grant. We are going to be working with that grant to introduce what we are calling Coping Conversations. This is a no-cost program for our students. We are going to be integrating directly into Clinton High School, and we're working on some other partnerships with our other schools and school districts to offer these classes. It can be a direct referral from a parent, a referral from the school district, and a referral from juvenile court. Anderson County Schools is actually adopting the policy for that to be the first offense for any vaping violations within the school. So we're really excited about the progress with this program and what this may do to truly help students, help them develop the coping skills that they lack, and making them turn to substances as a way to cope with things like stress and anxiety and all the things they have going on. Any questions?
Any questions for Shayla? Hey, one question. Where's
Yeah.
the drop-off locations in Clinton?
We have
area?
one at every police department.
Okay.
And we will be in Rocky Top and Oak Ridge and Clinton, I think, for actual Take Back Day this year. So we'll have additional bins set up at some of those locations, but all the time you can go to any of the police departments for Dropbox locations.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Catherine?
Good evening. I gave you guys a couple of things that you have in front of you. One is our brochure that we've created for the downtown area. We're putting that in travel centers across the state, highlighting what I think of is some of the best parts of Clinton and reasons why people would want to travel and visit here. You guys are also the first to receive a copy of the coloring book for this year that will be given out at the Mosaic Arts Festival. Tells a little bit of Clinton's history. So we, last year we did the art installation and we told the story of Townie, and now Townie's traveling around Clinton. So I'll be sure to get Joey on CUB for next year for the great tasting water we have in Clinton. Our Mosaic Arts Festival is April 12th. It's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in coordination with Clinton City Schools and their art show. I think it's just a great way for the community to come out and see kids perform. We'll have performances going every 30 minutes from Clinton High School Jazz Band, Dream Dance Studios, Clinton City Schools Band, and Orff Ensemble. So come out at some point that day and support the community and our kids in our community. One thing, some of you met Bridget, who came from the state. One thing that she noticed is that we're becoming a downtown for all ages, and that's something that I think is a great thing to publicize. With our Mosaic Arts Festival being for the kids, to the antique festivals, to SIPA Summer Fest, I think we're really trying to intentionally do our programs to be a downtown for all ages. So that's it for me.
Any questions for Catherine? Catherine, will you talk a little bit about some of the restaurants that have opened up last week or two and what's going to be opening up here next 2 or 3 weeks?
Absolutely. So Little Bird macarons, I always say it wrong.
I've always said, it's not macaroon?
It's not macaroons, it's macarons.
feel so-
They
I
had
feel
their
so-
grand opening on Saturday. They did a soft opening prior to that, and they have just been selling out like every day. They have a recipe from the 1800s that's been in their family for macarons, so it's really a great fit for our downtown area. Happy Hostess is now open. They're a cafe and bakery. Taylor won't tell you because she's very humble, but she is a trained culinary chef, and you can tell in the food that she serves. It's really, really great. So stop by and visit her. Chunky Monkey, I think, is going to be open next week. We're still waiting on an official date for sure, but they will be opening soon. Roger shaking his head no at me.
Asked if they were having cheeseburgers.
I was like, did I miss something?
They're right there.
It's good.
Hammocks is looking to open, I think, in the next week or two. They're trying to get ready, so it's exciting.
Plus, you got the Apple Blossom, of course, there. Hoskins.
Yes, we have some of our staples. Jimmy told me, I think, they're going to be celebrating their 10-year anniversary this year. Burville Antiques is going to be celebrating their 20th year
Who's
down
that?
here.
Who's that?
Burville Antiques. They're not a restaurant, but as we go through the anniversaries, Hoskins is celebrating 95 this year. So all the way from the new to our staples, it's exciting.
For all ages.
Yeah, a downtown for all ages. Right.
I'd ask you to, before the meeting, can you talk a little bit around, because I haven't talked to Roger about this, the Spring Antique, what the plan is? Are we going to have it or not?
Yes, so we are still having the Spring Antique Festival. We will likely put food trucks on Market Street, and then we'll do some directionals to our businesses. So we're making sure that people are still going in the stores, but vendors will be elsewhere. So I've played around with some ideas and some maps. I'm going to sit down with Mr. Campbell over here, and we're going to talk through that a little bit more to make sure we're keeping everybody safe. And we got to see what construction is actually going to look like as we get closer to it also, but it is still happening.
Okay, all right. Well, downtown's not closed up just because we're doing construction.
right,
That's why,
and
please support those people that want to do business in Clinton and thrive here, so.
Yes, that's the message we want to send through all the construction, is the businesses need your support, and they need you to shop local throughout. So,
Great. Thanks, Catherine.
thank you.
General Government Report, Mr. Hauk.
Thank you, Mayor. I really don't have any action items tonight, but just kind of want to update you on some of the projects that we've got going. I know it's asked I think every month, the Mariner Point traffic signal. We talked to our traffic engineers this morning. They're still waiting on TDOT's final approval. Knoxville had to send it to Nashville. But in the meantime, we decided we can go ahead and start the bid process. So hopefully by early April, we'll be putting that project out for bid. So hopefully moving along with that one. The pool and splash pad, it's moving pretty good. We did have a slight setback. The concrete on the splash pad didn't cure out right, so we would not accept it. So it was tore out last week, and in the process of hoping pouring this week to get us back on track, but it didn't cure good for whatever reason. The TAP grant, of course, we kicked it off about 3 weeks ago. Early stages is really just water and sewer lines. They started on Freddie Fagan Way with the sewer line there. They actually today started going on up the backside of Freddie Fagan towards the Apple Blossom. As we figured, there'd be problems. I mean, these are pipes that were put in 100 years ago, so we're digging up stuff that nobody's seen in a long time. And we've already had a few issues with sanitary sewer and our stormwater sewer pipes running together, not together, but over top of each other. So there've had to be some modifications already made. And I'm sure that's going to be something during the whole process that it's kind of almost build as you go once you start tearing stuff up. The Yarnell traffic calming, we did go through that study and the process, and we are going to put 2 speed tables, not the speed humps. The speed tables are wider and not as high. It was the ones that we tested last fall over in Knoxville. If you're doing the speed limit, pretty much you don't even have to slow down to go over them. But if you're going more than the speed limit, that's when it'll jar you a little bit. So that's a little different than what we've got anywhere else. But we went through the whole process that council laid out with this community. And I think it came back over 71% of the people that filled out the survey card that we sent out and they returned were for the speed humps there. So got that one. Just FYI, I know last month we surplused the fire engine, and we did offer it to Marlowe. They had sent a letter of interest about a year ago, so we offered it to them, and actually we signed the documents over just last week, so they're going to take that. I don't know, do you want to do anything,
In regards to what? Drive the
give them the
truck?
truck?
I'll drive it.
Okay, no.
Yeah, I'll drive that tanker.
Just, and further, just kind of update to the month of April is going to be real busy. I know we talked about the Mosaic Festival on the 12th. We've got the Veterans Breakfast that day also. On April the 5th, we got the Alzheimer's Walk at Lakefront Park, and they do a little festival. Of course, the first week of May, we'll be doing the Antique Festival. And then on May 31st, the Chamber, along with some volunteers, are going to put on, they think, a rather large pickleball tournament at Lakefront Park. So I think they're hoping to get about 100 teams.
You
So
better
that'll
have
be-
EMS on standby on that one.
Yes.
Are we still looking at expanding that?
We are. Since it was so late, we will let the tennis season get over, which will be done May, JB, 1st of May. So we've got the pricing already.
Ready to
so
go.
we can move pretty
Can we
quick.
go ahead and get in line for that?
I think we are, but I think it's August before first they could get to us, and this has been
We on?
a few months, yeah.
No, we're not on, but I talked to her the other day, the first chance she's got to get to us will be August, get on her schedule.
But are we on the schedule for August?
No, not yet, no.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Hey, Roger.
We need to get on the schedule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say, but I didn't want to go over the
I'll
top.
say it, we need to get on the schedule.
Roger, quick question.
Yes.
This is the first neighborhood to do our traffic calming
Yes.
new system, correct? Anything we need to tweak after we've been through the process real?
I don't think so. I think it,
Well, so far, it's worked the way we anticipated.
Okay.
There's been about 3 other neighborhood requests, and once they see that somebody's got to do some legwork, they give it up.
Okay.
but this group in South Clinton did a good job, and they attended the meetings, and it went well. I'll defer to Chris for the finance report.
All right, thank you, Roger. We closed the books on the 8th month of our fiscal year. Nothing really outstanding to note. The revenues are coming in well, as anticipated, and expenditures are almost exactly in line with how far we should be in the fiscal year. Looking at the local option, we're up about 4% from the same month last year, so we're still tracking well there. I anticipate we'll finish the year on a positive note. We're still minus 1.69% because of the pullback they did on us those 3 months. So things are looking good there, and I can answer any specific questions you may have.
Any questions,
I-
Chris?
I missed one meeting and it was negative 15.85%.
Yes.
So what happened there?
That was, if you'll remember, the same month last year, we had an extremely large month. It was 27% over the previous year.
Okay.
So if you look at, let's say if you compared 2 years ago, the same month, it was quite a bit more than that month. So that was, the bar got set way high for whatever reason that was in, what was that? December or something of 2024, so, or 23. So it's not that it got that much below, it's that the year before was that much higher.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, any more questions for Chris? So all this pullback dollars, so that's all been washed out?
That's,
now?
yes,
Everything's
that's been done for
cleaned,
about
so-
three months now. yeah.
Okay, all right, just
Yes,
want to
sir.
make sure.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
That's all I have, Mayor, unless you have any questions.
Roger, I've probably, and I know you've talked to these folks, but I've gotten more phone calls and more comments from people about garbage collection than almost as long as I've been in office. I mean, they're passing people up, they're missing days. They've missed me 3 times since the first of the year. And I don't know, I understand we don't have a penalty clause in our contract, but if they can put it on the ambulance service in Knoxville, we might want to consider, I don't know what our contract status is, but, I feel like the city provides 3 things: police and fire and garbage pickup. Those are 3 main things. And if there's no standard to garbage pickup, people are going to complain.
We've went with them, I think, twice, Bill, since the last council meeting. And so, I mean, we've continuously trying to stay on them. I mean, they've had new drivers, they've had bad weather, they've had vehicles break down, all these things they tell us, which, we've had Waste Connection for many years. And it's really the first time we've had issues with them, which they've had some new managers they just recently brought in. So we're hoping that things we'll start to see improving.
When is the contract up?
Oh, it was like a 6-year contract. I mean, you had to lock it in for a lengthy time, especially
4 more years?
4 more years.
Is there a competitor to threaten them with?
Last time I think we did bid, we didn't get anybody, but you got Waste Management, of course, is your larger one. You've got a couple smaller private ones, but I don't know if they could handle the volume, because we're doing 30-some thousand households a week is what our contract is. And then, of course, some small businesses. If a small business generates the same amount as a household, we provide them like on Market Street. If it's a larger business, we don't.
So like Oak Ridge and Knoxville, they use Waste, is it Waste Connections?
They're,
They use
Oak
them.
Ridge is Waste Connections too. Yeah, Oak
Yeah.
Ridge definitely is. I'm not sure what Knoxville is.
I guess we're just going to stay after them.
Our buddy
Yeah,
Doug
you know,
ain't there
it's-
anymore.
It's just not.
I'm sorry, it's-
Consistency is not like it used to be.
No. I'm We got any sorry. outs in the contract?
Not really, but the thing is, if we have an out, we better.
I understand,
better
I
have an
just
end to
asked,
go
we better
back.
have an end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just asked
Yeah.
if we had any
And,
outs.
we did have a couple of calls last week on missed collections, and Waste Connection responded back on one of them that there was a vehicle blocking a dead-end street, they couldn't get to it. And the other one was, somebody complained about their trash not being picked up, and their driver had actually called in and said, this can is inaccessible, it's about 10 feet back in the yard, they can't get it. So, I know there's problems, but I know they're trying, so.
Is there a way that they can communicate when they're not going to be able to pick up something like, is there a way that we can communicate with the citizens? Because I know that mine is normally picked up on Friday, and last week it was picked up on Saturday, but I didn't know they were coming on Saturday, so is that possible?
If it is a major breakdown and they know they're gonna be a day or so behind, they try to inform me, but sometimes that's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon before I get that notice.
Gotcha.
I would just tell everybody too, if that happens, if your garbage pickup is Thursday and they don't get it Thursday, leave it out. Don't pull it back in, because more than likely, something happened Thursday afternoon that got them behind, and
Right.
that's usually where they pick up the next morning. That's what they're telling us, at least. They'll pick up the next morning where they should have got on Thursday.
The last situation I had, we were due to pick up on Monday, and they didn't pick up till Thursday. So it was sitting out there for 3 days.
Maybe part of the solution is just them communicating with us. We could ask for that.
And that's got a little
Could
better.
we text the citizens out with our system and say,
We'll put it out on the app.
Well, maybe when you hear stuff like that too, you
Yeah.
communicate the other way too, and let them know this is what happened and see if they can provide any response.
Oh, we
Why-
usually
why
do.
that- why
If
that?
we get complaints, we either email or call them and find out what's going on.
Anything else for Roger? So, Bill, you might want to jump in on this too, just to clarify. So once the bid goes out and the bid is accepted for the red light at Mariners Point, are we saying about a 6-month period or 4? I don't want to mark the calendar, but just roughly, how long does that usually take?
I would say 6 months would be reasonable, and I've been told that equipment and materials is available right now, but that could
Good.
change.
Okay.
Roger, I don't think you touched on this, but I noticed here we've got the administrative hearing officer's report.
Yes.
That they've assessed $16,000 worth of fine, but we've only collected $5,000. Are we anticipating getting that, or are they holding out, or what?
We hope so. We actually have contracted with a collection agent. At some point, we'll turn it over to them. We'll have to, I think it's 15, 20%, something like that. We won't do it, but that's the best way. And/or we can put, a lien on the property.
Those numbers just jumped out at me.
Which our biggest thing with administrative hearing, we are not after to fine anybody. We want the problem corrected is the whole goal that we want. We'd rather not fine anybody.
True.
Absolutely. Anything else?
While we're on that subject, I just want to brag on our codes department because I have noticed they are out working hard and I can really tell a difference, especially like in my area. I can tell when they've come through there. So thanks for the work they're doing.
Well, a lot of that's the support of you guys too, because, just a few years ago, we only had 2 people in that department. Now we've got 4. So we're able to step it up and do a little more.
Yeah.
Thanks, Roger. No ordinances tonight. Resolution number 846. Do I hear a motion for that resolution number 846, the LPRF grant application to Otho Brown Park?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Queener,
Yes.
Councilmember Foster,
Yes.
Councilmember Harrell,
Yes.
Councilmember Gann,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatmaker, Councilmember Manus,
Yes.
Mayor Burton.
Yes. Resolution 846 passes on first and final reading. Any old business before us? Any new business? One thing I want to brag to the fire department, I have a rental house and the back shed caught fire about a week and a half ago, and it was a pretty hot fire. But, man, you never know what those guys do till you kind of forget until you see them in action. It was very impressive. JC was there and he had his group, but it could have been bad if it was later at night because it was close enough to the house, it probably would have caught. By the way, Matt, I'm gonna clean that up this week, so. But, again, I thank Jay, I thank JC, and I want to tell you too, you guys are doing a good job. Yeah. Anything else? Motion to adjourn? So moved. Means adjourned.
I'll have Bill.
Just call me.